Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. In this video, I'm going to show you some cards. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you some cards that I picked up throughout the year of 2023. I'm going to show you those cards and kind of do a recap of the year. But I'm also going to tell you about my goals that I've set for next year as far as card collecting goes, and just kind of what I plan to do from the start of January to the end this time next year. But before I do that, I want to give a shout out to the Drew of Vintage Legacy. I purchased a couple Christmas gifts from Drew's daughter, a couple bookmarks that they have made for some presents to give out this holiday season. And they turned out great. Everything was good. And then I want to give a shout out to Reindeer Studios. I got this nice little Christmas card with a couple of these gifts that if you're watching this, you probably already have seen. Now I don't want to downplay those because I just want to speed this video up. But Scott Reindeer Studios is one of the good ones out here. And then the last thing I want to give a shout out to as far as a Christmas gift goes, look at this beautiful handwriting that I'm going to show you backwards. But this is from my friend, my number 2 friend or second friend that I've made across the border in Canada, and that's my friend Steven, RipFan7, or RipFan8, I mean, and that's Steven with a PH, and he sent me a George Foster card. Now, he knows that I'm a big George Foster fan, but what's neat about this, it's OPC. And I just love it, and I really appreciate him. And if you haven't seen his channel, go up to RipFan8 and watch it. And I'm glad that he's doing YouTube content this year. Now, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to show you some cards here in a second. But 2023 was really my first year on YouTube. And I'd been on YouTube just a few months. And I had set out some goals. If you go back a long time ago, in December 27th, in 2022, I set out my goals. And my goals for the year was to go to the National. And I wanted to get the other one was I wanted to get a big card. And then another goal was to finish the Roy Campanella run and then add to the Yogi Berra run. For those of you that don't know, I love to do a full player run. I like to do a Hall of Famer, and I like to get every year of their card. You can't get every card they make, but what you can do is you can get every kind of base card. And that's what I'm trying to do. And so I set out to finish Campanella and to add to Yogi Berra. And the other thing I wanted to do is get a Hal Newhouser. Now, the Hal Newhouser rookie card. Now, that was going to be a big ordeal to do because I also am a post-war Rookie Hall of Fame collector, and it was the one that I was missing, and I didn't think I would be able to get it unless I sold one of my kids or just something like that, maybe a kidney or two. But let me show you. First thing, I did go to the National, and I did pick up a big card. Now let me turn this around and move the Dandy Mickey Mantle. Now, the big card that I picked up at the National is I picked up this, what I call a big card, is this Christy Mathewson. And I call that a big card. I love it. But the biggest card that I picked up at the National was this Ty Cobb bat on shoulder. And I'm glad to have it and glad to add it to my collection. Now, the biggest card that I picked up all year, and if you've been watching my channel, you've seen this thing. And I keep saying it's not going to be with me. I'm going to sell it this year. I'm going to sell it probably this spring and add more cards to my collection. But that is the 53 Bowman Color Dodgers in action, and it's a beauty. And I consider that a big card, and I just loved it. Now, another goal was to finish the Roy Campanella run. And what I needed the 52 tops, and that's a fairly big card too if you can make it that way. And later on in the summertime, I went to a card show in St. Louis, which was the card show was an incredible show with a lot of vintage there. And I picked up the 52 Topps Roy Campanella, and I completed his run. So now I believe I have completed his player run. So if you guys watch Baseball Collector, we have a segment that he allows me to do with him called Showcase Showdown. And what we try to do is we take a player and we compare our cards with, I compare my cards to Mike's cards. And we go year by year. And now I am ready for him on the Roy Campanella run because I'm going to surprise him and show him that I have all the Roy Campanella cards. The other thing that I wanted to do was I wanted to work on the Yogi Berra run. Well, with this card right here, with this Yogi Berra card right here, I completed the Yogi Berra run. So I guess you could say I'm an overachiever on that, which I'm glad to have done. And so it allows me to move on to a different player. And the last thing of my goals, if you would go back a year ago, is it would be somehow pick up the Hal Newhouser rookie card. It's a leaf card. And I believe it's a high number. It's a short print card. And it's hard to get. And a lot of people that try to do the Hall of Fame run, this is what stalls them, is to try to get this Hal Newhouser. Oh, there's probably about 90 graded, 90 of them out there that are graded. But I got a call from a dealer, a young guy named Carson. And Carson was bidding on this card, and he got it at a very reasonable rate. And he was setting up a card show in St. Louis, a different card show than what I got the Roy Campanella. And he said, Chris, I have it. Bring me some cards to trade. And so I had to give up quite a bit for this. But I am so happy to have it in my collection. And so with that card, I have completed the post-war Rookie Hall of Fame run. Now, I say I have completed it, and I thought I had until David Ortiz is a different card. And then now there's going to be new Hall of Famers put in there, and let's see if I have those cards. Now, as far as 2024 goes, I have set out a new list of goals. And one of my goals for 2024 is to make sure I go to Strongsville. And so you're going to be hearing me for the next couple of months talk about this Strongsville, Ohio baseball card show. It's a vintage show with tons of vintage dealers. And I have booked my trip. So as long as I stay healthy and nothing gets in my way as far as family commitments or that kind of stuff, I'm going to go. And not only am I going to go, but I'm going to go with a couple friends of mine, from Tom and Brent. And we're going to meet up with, as of right now, over 20 YouTube content creators. So looking forward to it. I also want to go to the National. I too have that one booked as well. And same thing, if my health is good and there's no family commitments of that kind of stuff, I am going to be there the latter part of July. So another thing on my list is I want to get a big card again. I don't know what that card is. There's plenty of them on my list to get. You know, a Satchel Paige Leaf card would be incredible if something would fall into my lap, or if Don Field of Dreams would lend me about 10 grand, that one's going to be mine. But also it might be a Joe DiMaggio play ball or a Ted Williams play ball. But I want to get a big card. Another thing that I want to do that's on my list is go after some strip cards. I picked up a Babe Ruth strip card and a couple Ty Cobb strip cards and various ones. And I'm looking forward to those. I'm looking forward to that kind of chase. And if they fall into my hands, they fall into my hands. And the last thing on my goals list really is to finish some player runs or go after more player runs. I am enjoying that Showcase Showdown with Mike, but more than that, I'm enjoying looking at complete career runs of a lot of Hall of Famers. So, for instance, I want to finish Warren Spahn, his run. I want to finish Duke Snyder. I want to get a better Larry Doby run and like Willie McCovey and Willie Stargell. And so, I can't do all of those. I can't finish all of those, but I want to work on them and get closer and closer. And the last thing I really want to tell you is I want to gain another friend that's a YouTuber. Now, I have friends. Friends, your friend scale is different than others. There's some people here I talk to, 3 times, 4 times a week, and it's not just always about baseball cards. But I just think my trust tree needs to grow just a little bit more. And so I'm going to try to shout out more young YouTubers. I'm only a year old, baby, when it comes to YouTube stuff. But I feel like I can maybe help get people to do some content and maybe get to know people better. So that's one of my goals, is at this time next year, be talking to the camera here and knowing that I have another really close friend out there. Now, I hope my Christmas this year was YouTube themed. My son and his significant other got me a shirt and gonna do a different kind of logo for Chris from Missouri. My father-in-law got me a Joe Poznansky book. My mother-in-law got me a Zion case. My wife, I can't even. I mean, she just, she and my daughter got me stuff that I will show at a later date. But listen, I've been doing this now for a year. I've reached out, and you guys have reached out to me, and I've gotten a lot more friends, not fans, friends, but I also have people that watch my YouTube channel that do not do content, and they have become close friends of mine, and I hope to see them at various card shows throughout the year. I want everybody to stay safe and have a happy New Year, and I hope everybody's holiday was great. But I hope your YouTube experience and your collecting experience grows to a level that you're just amazed with. So that's all my goals for 2024. And remember, guys, it is just a hobby. Collect what you like.